Previously on Ace Attorney. Are you sure you don't want to try channeling? I mean, are you sure you don't want them to know that you can channel? Because seriously, you could just call him up and get him to tell them exactly what happened. No, Nick, we can't do that. Why? Because it would make everybody really angry, and it would also make this trial really short. Hello, YouTube. I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to Ace Attorney, and we are about to hear the testimony of this amnesiac that I think is actually the escaped criminal / paratrooper that escaped. No night of the murder. That night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. Really? There's no way you saw Ms. Faye stab the victim with a dagger. I swear, I don't know what he's talking about, or don't remember at any rate.
Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum.
They must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Yeah, no way you could have seen it from there.
Mr. Amos, I was wondering.
So what can I do you for?
The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountaintop next to it?
Good point. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Amos?
On the day of the rite, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day.
Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day? Yeah, let's take a look. The area around the... it does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it? Yeah, still couldn't see.
See, told you so.
Not a problem.
Well, it would appear the witness has offered a testimony worth hearing.
Mr. Amos, I too have a question for you. Didn't he already question the witness?
Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot!
How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand?
Yup, I believe she was. It's got a reverse grip.
I thought as much.
Hold it!
Hold it right there. What bearing does that have on this case? Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held? Why don't you enlighten me, O enlightened one? I knew you were a fool. I can already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes. After your soul rallies for centuries in the pits of hell, you shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the flippin' case. Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what actions she took. you were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct? Yes. As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important. Oh, great. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip. What? Thus, Mr. Amos's testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. Assuming he saw it, which he couldn't have if he was where he says he was.
And it coincides with her benevolence's insights as well.
This is a disaster. They're like blown loose insights out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me.
Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
Yay. Cross-examination, start.
The night of the murder. That night I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum.
Hold it!
Are you sure you're not mistaken, Mr. Amos? Was it really Mount Pony Pony you climbed?
Oh, I'm sure of it. It has a really pony-ish mountain.
What does that even mean?
You know, now that I think about it, it was a mighty fine view. I ate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace.
Hold it!
If you ate crowds, why bother climbing to the top? Couldn't you have just as easily prayed at the bottom of Mount Pony Pony?
Wrong, bucko. This is a once-a-year epic event. I wanted to pray as close to the actual thing as possible.
Right. If you're so gung-ho about it, why didn't you go pray at the Plaza of Devotion?
Like I said, I ate crowds. I wanted to pray in peace.
Oh, Holy Mother, why do I only get the annoying ones?
And my burning faith demanded that I climb up the mountain closest to the inner sanctum. Also, I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around...
Hold it!
Since nobody was around, there is nobody who can corroborate your actions either.
Hey, oh, you're exactly right.
In that case, Mr. Amos, let me ask you this. Was there a reason you didn't want to be seen?
About that, if you get caught on climbing the mountain, climbing the surrounding mountains on the day of the raid, you can get in big trouble.
That's it.
Yeah, it's totally embarrassing to get yelled at when you're a grown-up.
Yeah, you're a real grown-up, all right.
And since nobody was around, I lost all inhibition and... I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum.
Hold it!
You had a pair of binoculars with you? That's pretty convenient. You weren't planning on spying... You weren't planning to spy on the right all along, were you?
Actually, I just happen to have them for bird watching.
Bird watching, huh? I see.
You're not going to keep pressing on him on this?
He's sketchy as heck, but I don't really have anything I can sink my teeth into yet.
Oh, okay then. I love the great outdoors. That's just the kind of guy I am. A guy called Anonymous TBD. He's really starting to get on my nerves. As I looked through my binoculars, I couldn't believe what was unfolding before me. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger.
Hold it!
Did you really say what you say you did?
Are you saying I'm lying about this? Well, I'm not. It's etched permanently in this old noggin. But
I didn't do what you said I did. You didn't even get a chance to touch the dagger on the day of the rite.
Oh, what I know of that? All I know is what I saw. I never even seen you before in my life. What possible reason could I have to lie?
We'll get to that later. I didn't expect there to be any witnesses way up there. But I don't remember doing that at all. I know. I have a feeling the witness is lying. There has to be an inconsistency somewhere in his testimony. I should take another look at the court record. Yeah, I just have to figure out exactly where to present it. But yeah, it's the curtain surrounding the mountain, whatever. Is it? Well, it could be any of the ones where he says that he saw. Maybe this one. Ritual curtain.
Objection!
Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy-bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him.
What? You ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you?
Not at all, Mr. Emmis. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony.
It's testimony, you say?
Yes. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day. Specifically that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain.
Why, yes, I believe you're right.
The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony Pony. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen.
Mr. Emmis, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court?
You got me!
The witness will lower his voice.
No, I didn't. I actually see the accused herself. He didn't actually see the accused herself. What's that supposed to mean?
Let me set the record straight, I bug you.
Witness testimony again.
The night of the murder, amended. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger.
Really? Shadows? That's what you saw?
Well, that's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain. In the future, Mr. Remus, I would rather you offer up accurate testimony from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Rigid Majesty. Choke it up to my fuzzy memory.
Though he saw naught but shadows, it is still valuable testimony. You have got to be kidding me.
What are we going to do now, Nick?
All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual rite and what Mr. Amos says he saw.
No, then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more.
Nah. Cross-examination, start!
We saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain.
Hold it!
So what you saw were simply shadows?
That's right. Those shadow figures on that bright white curtain. They showed through plain as day. I could see everything that happened.
But Miss Fay and Abbott and me were at the top of a mountain late at night. The only light up there was coming from 4 small lanterns. How could the shadows have been projected that clearly onto the curtain?
No wonder people harp on you lawyers. You're always so dang skeptical. The lanterns weren't the only sources of light, you know.
The moon.
The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night.
Hold it!
You claim to have seen shadowy figures that were projected onto the ritual curtain. But did you really see them, Mr. Amos?
Of course I did. The bright moonlight projected them onto that curtain, clear as day. It was like watching a scene out of a horror movie from my front row seat on Mount Pony Pony.
I guess the moon does shine a bit brighter when you're way up there. Maya, do you recall how bright the moon was that night?
I remember there weren't any clouds and that the moon was definitely out, but I don't remember if it could cast any shadows.
Okay, thanks. We can't deny that the moon was really bright, which means it's possible that it was bright enough to cause shadows to appear.
I remembered it just like it happened.
Yeah, right.
She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger.
Hold it!
How can you tell it was her? Hang on. How do you know it was Miss Fay if all you saw were shadows?
There's that little bun on top of her head.
Ugh.
Didn't need to see her face. That distinctive bobs a dead giveaway. Never underestimate my keen sense of observation. No, that's one funny haircut. It's not nice to make fun of a girl's hairstyle. I like my hair this way. Besides, you're one to talk your Sasquatch. You're not into this wild manly look I'm sporting. Shows what you know, little girl. Nick! Is there some kind of a crime you can charge him with?
Afraid it doesn't work that way. Now he claims he only saw shadows. His testimony is sketchy written all over it.
Then there must be an inconsistency in there somewhere.
Yep. Was he really watching everything from Mount Pony Pony? If so, then I should see how his testimony lines up with the conditions of the rite. Of the rite. Okay. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. Let's look at this.
Yeah.
Okay. Held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. Wait a minute. If it's over Mount Pony Pony, then it's directly over him. It wouldn't be casting any shadows. Okay. Got it. Yeah, this one.
Objection!
You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight. Sorry, but that's just not possible.
What do you mean? How's it not possible that it was totally possible? That's impossible.
I think I'm going to need a logical ease translation on that. Let's take a look at this rights guide, shall we, Mr. Amos? The rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. Amos was standing to the west of the inner sanctum on Mount Pony Pony. Oh, holy mother! That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain.
No way!
Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadows he saw. I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Amos claims to have seen.
But I did see those silhouettes, really. But how could he, Nick?
Maybe he was someplace where they were visible. Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty, if Mr. Amos really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. And that would be a brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Amos really did see those shadows is he was somewhere else. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder.
Oh, then where do you propose the witness was?
Someplace where you could have seen the shadow figures, naturally.
Wait, you mean...
None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from.
Then where might that be?
This is where Mr. Emus was at the time of the murder. The inner sanctum. Or just outside it. Mr. Emus was at the inner sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures.
Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that.
But wasn't the inner sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused?
And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's the subject Prosecutor Sadmani would rather not touch right now. Well?
What you mean?
That's right. This witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest.
What?
Objection!
No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum. And the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred space? By improvised parachute. Oh, he must have, haven't thought that far ahead. But I have!
The sanctum has sheer cliffs on 3 sides and a steep, towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs.
His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Emus was at such an inaccessible location is but a bid to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right?
Right, I wasn't at the inner sanctum, no sir, no how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't.
Hold it!
Then what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen?
I'm starting to think I've been imagining things.
What? This is insane!
I knew we couldn't trust that lawyer. He's trying to frame the witness.
What? The gallery's full of idiots.
Peace, I say.
This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the inner sanctum. It just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. Emus.
I believe in you, Nick. Rah, rah, sis boom ba, fight, fight, Phoenix Wright.
Just look at the accused. Ain't she no shame?
What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know.
She got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind.
Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it for yourself for now.
I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts.
Yes, Your Majesty. I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Mr. Emus, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night.
Really?
We're still entertaining this.
Well, you wasn't at the inner sanctum. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell you. That much I'm sure of, even with this fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary.
I am tempted to skip ahead, but I will not. I will press on everything like I always do. I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum like he claims, but
Now, will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness?
Oh, he's far from innocent. I don't know if he's the killer, but he's definitely not innocent.
Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how he got up there.
Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations?
Ah! I hate this place.
A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner's been struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell.
Pyrrhonism is the strictest religion ever.
And just so you know, you've already accrued 200 million extra years.
Yeah, whatever.
Plus the fact they started with their 700 million years.
Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take?
That's a big deal to me. You can't keep saying that the witness was there at the inner sanctum.
Why not?
I can't prove it. Oh. Problem is, how am I going to do that?
Cross-examination starts. I wasn't at the inner sanctum. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell you.
Hold it.
Are you sure you weren't there? All I'm sure is you're deeply skeptical. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are all lawyers always like this? Most certainly. They always try to pin crimes on innocent witnesses without any proof whatsoever. They are no better than bacteria or viruses. Yikes! You mean he's contagious? He's gonna get me lawyeritis!
Okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Ooh, that was a close one. He almost put me there at the scene of the crime when I wasn't even there.
Ah.
Well, that much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory.
Hold it.
You just said your memory was fuzzy.
Oh, I sure did. What's the big deal?
I tell you what, your testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the events is fuzzy.
Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm very clear on one thing.
Here we go again.
If you ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night, I'd say I do.
In short, you are confident that your testimony is true. Is that correct, Mr. Amos?
Exactly. Yeah, guess you don't get to get a bit of a judge for nothing. So in closing, I can clearly say that I was totally not there.
Ah.
Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place.
Not true.
Hold it.
I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to the inner sanctum.
If you have something to say, just say it.
Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention?
No, there isn't.
Which means there is.
Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us.
I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory, though.
I do.
Time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention, he fell from the sky.
Okay, I was not expecting to actually get the opportunity to do this now.
Maybe you fell from the sky?
The lawyer thinks he's a comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it.
Mr. Amos could have parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. Can't wait to wipe that smirk off your face.
Now that you have been backed into a corner, your delusions grow ever more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find himself in the Twilight Realm. Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was. Even I couldn't have made that jump.
Even you? What do you mean, even you?
Wait, what's this building on top of this sacred mountain?
That is the Royal Penitentiary number 4.
Oh, right. Princess Rafa mentioned there was a prison up there.
How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum. Still not a problem. Might I also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found. I would argue against that. Are you saying I flew down there by flipping my arms? I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not that capable of that.
Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Emmis. That is your real name. Which we know it's not.
It's not like I can fly through the air either.
Hold it!
You wouldn't need to flap your arms if you had some gear.
As I have already stated, nothing of the sort was found in or around the scene of the crime. I'd sure like to see some of that so-called gear you're talking about.
I know, but was there really nothing like that at the inner sanctum?
What if there was something that could have been used as a parachute? I should give the evidence another look.
You continue to claim that the witness was at the inner sanctum. Yet said claim shall remain but a claim without any supporting evidence, Mr. Wright.
Yes, I realize that, Your Majesty. If I can't find any inconsistencies, guess I can always try to elicit some more testimony.
Boy, your lawyer sure is scary.
Well, let's see what this leads to.
Now hold on, lawyers aren't scary.
But you're saying that it was at the inner sanctum when it wasn't. Anyone who tried to frame an innocent man like that is scary in my books.
Lawyers are scary. Lawyers are scary. It's a setup. It's definitely a setup.
I'm not trying to set anyone up. I'm going to provide evidence and explain exactly how it was done.
The gallery speaks true. They know the depth of a lawyer's sin and the poverty of his virtue.
Get your virtue right here. There may be some bad apples, but we're not all like that, you know.
Don't worry, Nick. I'll still root for you no matter how morally bankrupt you become.
Thank you, Maya. I can always count on you.
Mr. Amos wasn't at the inner sanctum, or more precisely, couldn't get there. I don't see a way out of this.
That's because you never had the opportunity to examine the crime scene. I did.
Yeah, these kinds of debates only get worse if you argue them the wrong way.
I'll have to pry some conclusive testimony out of him and then present some evidence, or just present the evidence.
Like when you're trying to catch frogs from a pond.
Well, what?
Once you've got a grip on one, you better hold on tight.
Right. Something like that. Go fishing for frogs often? Wait, frogging for no, wait. Frogging for frogs? Would it be frogging for frogs? Whatever.
All right, let's present the parachute.
Here.
Objection!
Mr. Amos is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear. Well, now finally come around, have you? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the inner sanctum.
Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is.
So, what on earth are you talking about?
That overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence.
Those are pear flags, are they not?
Yes, but they've been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. Polkunka. The people of Karain are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. No, this cannot be. The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Amos?
There's no way out. I'm surrounded.
Mr. Amos?
All this talk's jogged my memory. I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all.
Ah!
As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night.
Yeah, probably 4.
You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all.
Thanks. Mr. Amos, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you?
But what? No way, no how. It's like this. Oh yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident.
By accident.
Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute, it's a homemade paraglider.
A paraglider. Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material?
It may not look like much, but it's as sturdy as can be. I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. But then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum.
So you just happened to land there. You expect me to believe that?
No. Well, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. And it certainly warrants further explication. Therefore, let's continue with more testimony.
More lies, you mean? Ah, this guy's infuriating. This entire system is infuriating.
Why I was at the inner sanctum. That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident.
Lies, lies, and damn lies. Mr. Amos, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning.
Get me up! I'm just remembering it now.
Continue such slipshod testimony and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails, where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years.
Whoa! I think I'll piss on that.
Yeah, it looks like that called prosecutor set Marty off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds.
Cross-examination.
Start again.
That evening when I was enjoying a trek through the night sky on my homemade paraglider.
Hold it!
You were enjoying a trek through the night sky with your homemade paraglider. You didn't go to pray.
A devout Koreanist like me can pray anywhere, even while flying through the sky. But I wouldn't recommend you try it. You're bound to end up dead.
A paraglider? I didn't see anything like that.
That's close as a retro curtain that blocked your view. You should have seen me majestically soaring between the mountains.
Really? What do you think, Nick?
Don't ask me.
I was really enjoying that flight. At first, anyway. But just as Mount Pony Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened.
Hold it!
Something terrible happened.
Exactly. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible.
What? Was there something unexpected near Mount Pony Pony?
What was it again?
Wait, you don't remember?
Let's just say it's terrible. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the intersection.
Hold it!
What exactly was this accident you had?
Good question. No, what was it again? A wind? Oh, yeah, it was the wind. And not just any wind, but a sudden gale force wind made me lose control.
There it is. The wind was strong enough to make you lose control.
You got that right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then, please add that to your testimony.
Gale force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the sanctum.
Hold it!
Had the wind been blowing the whole time around the mountains?
Yep. Just the right amount of wind for paragliding. So that sudden gale force wind was a real shocker.
I see. So a decent wind had been blowing until then.
Right. Well, paraglider's not much use without a decent wind.
Mm-hmm.
As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory.
Hold it!
Where at the inner sanctum did you land?
Oh, that's easy. Where the paraglider ended up.
I guess that makes sense. So outside the ritual curtain on the side where the moonlight shadows were cast.
But right as I landed, I had my head on a rock. I lost both my consciousness and my memory. Right over here.
Something's seriously wrong with this guy.
So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by
Hold
accident.
it!
You're lucky to be alive after an accident like that.
Yeah, I'm just a lucky kind of guy. It's times like these that separate the men from the boys.
Wow. I'd say you were incredibly lucky. Almost miraculously so.
If you got something to say, just say it.
All right. Mr. Amos, it wasn't an accident, was it? You landed at the inner sanctum on purpose.
What the? No, it's an accident, I'm telling you. You don't even have any proof, so stop making up things about me.
His testimony's like a moving target.
Okay, Nick. Time for some evidence. You know, really grab him by the scruff of his neck.
One thing at a time, Maya. First, I have to find an inconsistency.
Yeah, but you already did. You said so. I know, but I wanted to hear the rest of it. You are so infuriating sometimes, Nick.
Yeah, but you still love me.
I'm beginning to doubt that.
All right, but where there is constantly changing testimony, there are bound to be discrepancies and other issues. All right, let's see. Is it the third one? Yeah.
All right, the weather report.
It is in here, right? Yeah, weather forecast. Calm, clear skies today.
Objection!
We have a saying in my country, Mr. Amos. From one lie sprouts another.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
It means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover your tracks.
What'd you just say?
You claimed gale force winds caused you to lose control. This newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says, the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today.
Why, I do believe it does say that.
From one lie sprouts another. That makes sense, but is it really a saying back home? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I kind of made that one up.
For real?
Hey, you know me.
Your Majesty, the witness's testimony contains another flaw, one that's even more fatal to his case. More fatal, you say? The defense will explain himself at once. Mr. Amos claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with his paraglider. But it would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind. Well, yes, I believe you're right. But we know the witness was at the inner sanctum, so... Mr. Amos, how did you get there? And from where?
Would you believe Narnia?
Without any wind, he couldn't have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination, the only starting point that makes any sense is... Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Mr. Amos must have launched himself from here.
Take that!
Are you insane?
That's where he came from? If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, Anonymous came down from Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached the inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest. What? Mr. Amos, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the right that the victim received? Was it you we saw in his final memory? Are you the rebel hunter, Lady Kira?
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, help me out here. You did it. You finally left him speechless. Oh, come on, Mr. Prosecutor Man.
Quiet, you fool. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For a fate far worse than hangnail hell awaits you now.
Crap.
Well done, defense. I must concede this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend to the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4.
Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time.
It's a trap. That's awfully generous of him. But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle.
Why would Lady Kira be there?
The riddle of Anonymous's true identity.
Oh, no, that's easy. He's the paratrooper. He's a rebel. Oh, his true identity? Not sure I know quite yet, but I guess I'll have to answer with something. It would seem that I am the only one still in the dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Who is this man we've been calling Anonymous?
The witness's true identity is...
Where is that?
Want a poster?
Is this really him?
Only now do you realize the truth. Well, please do share with us your belated insight.
What's wrong, Nick? Why are you holding back?
Because this isn't going to be very helpful to our case.
Really? Are you sure?
Unfortunately, I've got no other choice. That scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off.
Not me.
It's all becoming clear now. The nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison. The precision landing at the inner sanctum using only a homemade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off.
This witness is...
That's the rebel.
Prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group. What? The witness is an escaped prisoner?
Precisely. The police have been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was under our noses the entire time.
Hoorah! I didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise.
But the witness's charade is not all that has been shattered. Is it, defense?
Boy, do I hate this guy.
Please recall the defense's own words.
Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. A letter said, "Do not perform the rite." But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself.
He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira.
Yeah, what's your point?
What of the witness's true identity?
Only a paratrooper, or more precisely a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is, that's a rebel, prison escapee, and key member of Dirk's rebel group.
Oh no.
He is a rebel and an escaped prisoner. He could not possibly have been Lady Kira, mortal enemy of the rebels.
No! Now, perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. After all, he has yet to refute any of this.
What?
You got me.
I'm the razor-sharp fangs of the Defiant Dragons. What? Oh. Yeah. That's a rebel.
When did you get your memory back?
Oh, around the time you guys were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for making up all that testimony off the top of my head. Are you prepared to tell us the truth now? Well, it's true I parachuted down to the inner sanctum. But I banged my head on impact and I'll be unconscious outside the ritual curtain. In short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie. A big fat lie. Oh, and by the way, long time no see, Yudi. Wait, they know each other?
Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell.
Oh, yes, of course. Bailiff, seize him at once. Seems you really have forgotten the will of the dragon, huh, Yuti? But I haven't. No dogs of the Garan regime are gonna lay a finger on me. But, hello.
He done a runner.
Deploy all available resources. I want all units placed on high alert.
He just ran out of a courtroom.
The escaped prisoner. Escaped again.
The police force have been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long.
Escaped prisoners who's escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony? Talk about a troublemaker.
He really pulled a number on all of us.
What was the point of all that anyway?
Well, I can't help but feel that entire episode was an enormous waste of time.
Your Majesty? Perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe.
Well, what makes you say that, Prosecutor Sudmoney?
That's the rebels dropped something as he made his escape from these halls.
That scrap of paper looks awfully familiar.
These appear to be direct orders from Duck.
From Dark, the rebel leader? Oh, but we only have a small corner of it.
Wait, I remember now. Your Majesty, I've seen that scrap of paper before.
You have?
The scrap of paper that the rebel dropped is a part of this.
Take that!
And this is...
I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of the order that Mr. Rebels dropped. If we put the two together, we should be able to read what the order says.
Oh my! And just what does it say, Mr. Wright?
Well, about that. I can't read Kuranese.
Oh. Prosecutor Sudmoney, if you please.
The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language? Very well, then. I do not understand.
Well, what does it say?
Using the lamplights as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Kira's robes and make his escape.
What? That is how he was to escape from prison?
So if I were to assume that Mr. Rebel was the one who killed the high priest, then maybe it was because Abbott and me tried to thwart his escape plan? Not quite. He was in on it. Oh, foul lawyer. I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous. Huh? But I didn't say anything. Did he just read my mind? I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebels' escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that the rebel is not the high priest killer. How can you be so sure? If only you would use that putrid brain of yours every once in a while. That's the rebel's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual. What do you mean? I am speaking of Abbott and me, of course. That's the rebel simply donned Lady Kira's robes and made his escape alone. He would have been far too conspicuous. But were he by the high priest's side, the faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that the rebel was the high priest's killer.
So then you're saying the high priest was a... Oh, I cannot bear to say it.
I am afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threaten our kingdom.
Well, how could this be?
The high priest was a rebel? There must be some kind of mistake. Shut it up.
Let it go and move on. Accept the truth. It is the only way. And that goes double for you, defense. Cease your futile battle now. And why should I? Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated that's a rebel from our list of suspects, there is only one person that still remains. the accused, Maya Fey.
Hold it!
Hold it right there.
Aren't you forgetting something important?
Something important? Please to explain, defense.
We can't end this trial without looking into the murder weapon. What about the murder weapon? We haven't found it yet. What does it matter if it has been found or not? The fact remains that the victim was killed with it by the accused.
I also failed to see how that would be important, Mr. Wright. This, however, is...
Oh, crap. Oh, third party.
It seems there's no need to continue this trial any longer.
No, Your Majesty, there is still something important that must be brought to light. The third party. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the seance vision. If that wasn't That's a Rebel, then who was it?
Objection!
That matter has already been resolved.
It has?
What's he talking about? It is as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision.
Objection!
But there was another Lady Kira there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her.
Shut it up!
What the? I can't do my finger point.
サトライマオマンドもさましで足し抜けたれガセをそろか
It is time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your arm. This hardly seems fair. It is quite simple, once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring, with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead? Besides the water itself, there is nothing but the Warbat statue. Oh.
Besides the water itself, there is nothing but the Warbat statue.
Precisely. The Lady Kira we saw at the seance is the Warbat statue draped in her sacred robes. No way! The accused wanted the false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision before she came from behind and stabbed the victim with the dagger in a verse grip.
But why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Kira?
To show it to the victim as he was being slain.
And what reason would the accused have to fool the victim she was about to kill?
It was not the victim she was trying to fool. It was this very court itself.
Come again?
Suspicion would not fall upon the accused if it looked as if another Lady Kira was there. And the defense was foolish enough to fall for it and claim it was a third party in disguise.
Are you saying?
I am. It was all a cleverly wicked scheme perpetrated by the accused. A scheme in which she sought to use the seance vision to mislead us. Oh boy. This can't be happening. What a face you are making, defense. I am surprised you are taking this so hard. After all, did I not clearly state a while back that you were chasing after naught but a deluded fantasy? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. You're telling me he knew this is how it would turn out all the way back then? That he was just waiting for the most effective moment to spring it on me? Do you understand now? I have had you dancing in the palm of my hand this entire time. It can't be.
This is an outrage. You took our royal priestess's sacred divination seance and used it to commit this most foul and despicable murder.
No, I did nothing of the sort. Nick, it's not true. I didn't.
Objection!
Cease this ugly display. Your fate is sealed now that the facts have been exposed. Your Majesty, the time has come to convict this criminal who only seeks to taint this sacred hall.
Indeed, it seems its trial is over.
Hold it!
Does the defense wish to offer up yet another counter-argument or something?
The accused, not the killer. And, here's why. Now, what do I do? I got nothing.
It would appear that the defense has run out of arguments to make.
Though for sure that the rebel was the killer. The only person with a possible motive, the one dressed as Lady Kira, has vanished. And I've got nothing to use against Prosecutor Sadmani's argument. Damn it, I can't lose now, not like this.
Very well then, I shall now render my verdict.
Wait! Please wait, I'm begging you. It is time to let it go and move on.
This trial need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charge filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense Culpability Act against the defense. Now then, this court finds the accused, Maya Fey, and the defense, Phoenix Wright, guilty.
Ugly. Ah!
Okay, where's Miles to swing in out of nowhere and save my butt? Anybody?
Your Majesty, please forgive the interruption, but
What is the meaning of this?
a body has been found in the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty.
What's this? A body? What happened now?
And we found this sticking out of the victim.
Why, that's Lady Kira's warband dagger.
Lady Kira, she has returned from the Twilight Realm once more. She has come to defeat the rebels.
Peace.
Well, it would seem the dagger that was once lost has now been found.
I have one more thing to report, Prosecutor Sadmati.
Yes?
This dagger. It bears the fingerprints of Maya Fey on it.
What? But why would Maya's prints be on it? Because she was the last person to hold it before somebody with gloves handled it. I cannot believe it, yet it must be true.
Is something the matter, Prosecutor Sadmati?
This trial has run its course, and the accused guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing. Was? You claimed that the murder at the Inner Sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Kira. I did say something to that effect, but whatever.
Prosecutor Sadmati, are you suggesting what I think you are?
I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter, who has been masquerading as Lady Kira, is none other than the accused, Ms. Maya Fey. What? Me? What? Who? How? She's been right here all day. I realize how shocking this must seem. Looking back, however, I now realize there was much that pointed to this fact. The rebel hunting Lady Kira was first sighted about 2 years ago.
Oh, dear.
And the accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago as well.
Why, the timing matches perfectly.
But there's more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the rite. Despite his house being locked up tight that night.
I knew this was going to come back to bite us. However, there was somebody else staying there as well.
Objection!
How does that prove anything?
Objection!
It is difficult to believe an intruder could have found a way to enter such a secure house. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there, mainly to prepare for the purification rite.
Abademi was an important figure with a ton of duties, including training acolytes. He was really kind, even to a foreigner like me. He even invited me over to his house whenever I was in between training sessions.
Yeah, but somebody else was actively living there.
The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing.
No. Well, I mean, yes. She could have, but so could have. He was the guy praying with bare feet on the front row at the plaza. He was living with Abbott and me too.
If we assume that the accused was Lady Kira, that more than establishes her motive for killing the High Priest.
Yes, the victim was secretly an insurgent, bent on helping Daxa Rebel escape after all.
Precisely. That made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. And after killing the High Priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel. So it seems the scope of this case has expanded. We now have 2 murders perpetrated by Ms. Maya Fey masquerading as Lady Kira.
Okay, so I guess there will be a day 2.
If Miss Fey is indeed a serial killer, it would affect the severity of her punishment. In light of this, I believe this second murder must be investigated before we can proceed.
As you wish, Your Majesty. Maya Fey, I hereby charge you with this second murder. May your defiled soul feel the weight of your sins.
A new murder charge on top of a guilty verdict. It seems the defense will live to see one more day.
Talk about hanging on by a thread. Come tomorrow, a far more terrible punishment awaits you.
I hereby suspend these proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated. Until the conclusion of this new investigation, this court is adjourned.
Oh, boy.
To be continued in the next episode. To the outro! Out of the frying pan and into the fire. Oh, who am I kidding? Out of the fire and into the bronze bowl. So now we have a second murder, and this time the weapon has been found and Maya's prints are on it. At least we have a bit more time to find the real killer. Now, I've been thinking all this time that the escaped prisoner was a red herring because why would a rebel kill a fellow rebel? But the fact that Dax the rebel was so intent on giving false testimony to convict Maya makes me want to reassess that stance. Problem with that is, if he claims that he really did have amnesia until the very end of his testimony. To be honest, I have no idea how any of this is going to go, except that I am convinced that the Justice Minister is behind all of this. But, like I said earlier, I don't think we're going to nail him to the wall until the very end of the game. Anywho,
up here is a playlist of my Persona 5 Royal playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Also, I'd like to send a very special thanks to all of my patrons and YouTube members. Your support really does matter a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!